New tonight at 10, the Kansas City, Kansas firefighter union says the way their department has handled the COVID-19 pandemic has its members worried about sick time and safety. 41 Action News reporter Sarah Plake has been checking in with the union since the summer. They say the response has been reactive rather than proactive.
Firefighters' concerns generally aren't for themselves first, it's for the other people. And that was the case in this.
The KCK firefighter union president says that's at the heart of every first responder.
Months into the pandemic, the IAFF Local 64 says their members remain concerned about the KCK Fire Department's response to COVID-19 and whether the department has enough procedures in place.
Chief Mike Callahan says they do.
For the number of responses they make and the number of patient contacts they have, I think that we've done very well.
As of Friday, a department spokesperson told 41 Action News 72 KCKFD staff members have tested positive for COVID-19 out of 436 employees. At least 30 have been quarantined and 5 have been hospitalized.
We have some people quarantining on their own that are choosing to do so out of a sense of responsibility.
But now the department says they're no longer having firefighters quarantine who have been exposed to the virus as long as they're showing no symptoms. The department said they're doing this because of staffing shortages, citing CDC guidance. If under quarantine, employees must use their own sick time until they find out if they're positive. If they do test positive, that sick time is given back.
If one of our firefighters tests positive, they're immediately placed on injured on duty status, which means all of their bills and everything are paid for.
Chief Callahan says firefighters who feel sick should get tested.
All of the firefighters in Kansas City, Kansas are medical professionals. So I believe that when they spot those symptoms, they take the appropriate precautions.
We checked, and the department does not have any standalone COVID-19 policies.
Because the dynamics of this disease continue to change.
The national union, IAFF, recommends following the department's exposure control plan, wearing masks at the station, and self-screening every day by taking temperatures and monitoring symptoms. Chief Callahan says instead of a standalone COVID policy, his department is following guidelines from a 2018 infection control policy, which does not specifically mention COVID-19, quarantining, or temperature checks since it was drafted before the virus emerged. That policy does include an exposure control plan. On May 22nd, a union rep sent an email to KCKFD management asking why the department hadn't yet implemented COVID screening protocols or mask wearing as required by the UG restart plan issued earlier in May.
It's something that we requested. We made the proposal for not long after this started back in March. There was no desire to implement a procedure like that.
In late March, a KCKFD manager told a union rep that thermometers were on the way. But a receipt we obtained shows the fire department didn't order the 20 infrared touchless thermometers until May 22nd.
They came in June, but supply chain issues were the delay.
Since the start of the pandemic, the Wyandotte County Health Department recommended county employees still working to wear masks and monitor symptoms.
We can't mandate any of those things. We can't tell our membership, you will self-screen. That has to come from the fire department.
It wasn't until July 2nd, a day after 41 Action News questioned the department's screening protocols, that the department made temperature checks at every fire station a requirement. Chief Callahan started mandating masks in common areas at the fire stations and on trucks on August 17th. On November 6th, the union picketed City Hall in part for its response to the virus. SEMA maintains the chief and management dragged their feet throughout the pandemic.
I want to be able to protect my family, and I want to be able to protect the citizens that I serve.
Sarah Plake, 41 Action News.